I know you also wrote an article, Mason Graham and Mike Hall. Those are, Graham was first round pick. Hall was the Browns' first pick, second round last year. What do they hope they're getting with those two guys?
Well, kind of a rush and crush situation with those guys in the middle. They want interior pressure, interior sacks. Both of those guys can get the job done in that regard. In terms of Mason Graham, when you turn on that film, you see that he's in the backfield a ton. He's very, very aggressive. He's very active. He plays with some violent hands, and he just has a lot of burst and explosion. And it's kind of the same thing with Mike Hall, but we've forgotten about it a little bit with Mike because he had some issues last year that did not enable him to stay on the field as much as he would have liked. So if they can get him out there and keep him on the field coming off of his serious knee injury, which we don't even know the nature of the knee injury at this point, but if they can keep him on the field and pair him with Mason Graham, I think those two guys can be dynamite inside. And then, of course, they only help those outside guys. So it should really benefit Miles as well.
So we alluded to it a little bit in the first segment, but I didn't get your true thoughts on it. Browns trade back from 2-5. They get an additional first round pick next year. Jaguars pick number one pick, and an additional second round pick, which was early in the second round. What did you think of the trade back?
I did not have a problem with it whatsoever. I know a lot of people did, but once again, I kind of knew that this was a possibility. So maybe I was just a little bit more mentally prepared for it than some people were. But I think to go ahead and pick up a second round pick, a fourth round pick, and a first round pick next year, I think that's just dynamite. I really do. And they've already transformed the running game with it, with Judkins and Sampson, with those second round picks and fourth round picks. And now next year, they're poised to use their two first round picks if they need to move up and try to get a quarterback in a much better quarterback class. They're poised to be able to do that in the event that he need to. Of course, they hope that they don't have to do that. They're hoping that Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel or Shador Sanders steps up to the plate and becomes that quarterback of the future. But in the event they still need Mr. Right, then they have the ammo to go get him.
When you look at what Mason Graham might mean for Myles Garrett, we've talked ad nauseum about a bookend. You had Zadarius Smith, there was Abdul Carter. It might be a lot of fun to see teams try to figure out how to deal with Mason Graham next to Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough load to try to hold off. That's a lot of power, a lot of beef, a lot of explosion with both of those two guys. And I mean, they could even do some really interesting things, and I'm sure they will, just in terms of flip-flopping and switching spots from time to time, having Miles come down inside occasionally, and vice versa. So I think they can do some really cool things. And I think that these guys are going to give any offensive coordinator fits during the week trying to figure out a way to stop them.